Hello and welcome to the Work for Change podcast. Thank you guys so much for checking it out. I'm your one and only host, John.
That's not true.
Okay, this guy walked in. I don't know what's going on.
Off the street. You let me be a co-host. It's awesome.
Yeah, but he wanted me to start this podcast. I feel weird doing it. But welcome to episode 99, man. One away from 100.
I know.
And to celebrate this momentous occasion, we have our friend Joel here, or as better known as the internet famous CrossFit reviewer, as many reviews as possible. Dude, he said yes to do this on super short notice. I just want to make that clear, and we appreciate it. So
yeah, thank you so much, dude.
No problemo, man.
Okay, so I think first and foremost, I think it makes sense to kind of understand your journey of like how you got into CrossFit, and then eventually how you got into like reviewing different products and stuff. So like, what was the backstory? How did you get into CrossFit?
It's such a douchey story. I'm not not even gonna lie to you, man. So
we're just setting you up for success here.
Yeah.
This is my friend Joel. He's a huge jerk.
Dude, I gotta be honest with it. Like, it's such a dumb reason to do anything. But like, so I went to Vegas with my friends. It was like 2010, and we went to the pool, and we took like a group picture, like the bro trip group picture. And I'm like so out of shape. I look at it and I'm like, I just don't look good. And from then on out, I was like, dude, I need to do something about this. So like immediately after we get back, I start hitting up the gym, start doing the gym bro science.
Okay, so you did the chest day, arm day kind of thing.
Yeah, okay. Totally, man. And I did it for a while, like 2 years. And the first year I did like. Everybody goes into it with like, I'm gonna in 3 months.
I'm like Arnold.
I'm gonna be so buff in 3 months. So I went into it like that, and then like 3 months later, I was like, dude, I'm not there yet. And then 3 months, and then it just never happened. And one day I got a flyer on my car, and it was like CrossFit, and.
Wow.
And I'd seen all these like a couple people on like my Facebook like post their CrossFit workouts. Obviously CrossFitters are gonna do stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
And there's like hundreds and hundreds of reps.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, there's no way I could do this, but I gotta try. So I went. I took this flyer, did my free trial. The very first day that I did CrossFit, I was like, all right, this is it. This is what's gonna work. And at the time I was smoking, so that I had to choose between smoking or doing CrossFit. Yeah, I was like, I gotta do CrossFit.
Yeah,
there's no way I could do both. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the rest is history. From then on out, like, I joined like just like anybody else, that joins a CrossFit gym. They like get sucked into the community, and then. From there I wanted to coach, start coaching, ended up coaching at a few different gyms, and then opened up my gym, and the rest is history.
All right, so, you started working out because you wanted that, awesome chiseled physique. You've been doing CrossFit for about 8 years now?
Yeah.
Are you there yet? Because I know I'm not.
Nope. It's a roller coaster ride, dude.
You jerk.
Dude, I'm in the same place.
But I'm like, you get to a point where you're like, oh, I'm good, like with the way that I look, and then you just kind of like let it go.
Oh yeah.
It's just back and forth. Like I can say that I've been where I wanted to be. Or like that chiseled look, like where I wanted to go to the pool, but like now I'm like,
I am in hardcore Elsa mode right now. Just let it go. It is just all going.
The thing that I'm
trying to get back.
I'm not sure if you listen to the podcast, but every week Jean is either on a new thing or he's off the new thing.
Yeah.
It's a cycle that we have here on the
exactly.
podcast.
Hey, constantly varied.
Varied diets.
You got to be trying stuff out, man. You got to see what sticks.
Jean's right now is trying to see how many times can I eat Chipotle in a week and not become morbidly obese.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey, Chipotle is not too bad, man. If you go to my Chipotle, you won't get morbidly obese because they don't give you anything.
They skip on you?
Oh man, no. Our Santee Chipotle, they hook it up.
Yeah, they do.
I also ask for extra of everything.
He does.
They're like, can I get white rice? A little bit extra, please. Black beans, that's fine. Steak, double. Come on, like I'm really hungry. Come on, bro. Like every time.
You're not that rude. You're
I'm
making
not, I'm
yourself
not.
look. Sound
I make it
worse
sound
than you
worse.
are.
I'm nice. I'm pleasurable.
You just can't order from the app. The app is what kills you, dude.
I know. I realize, but it's so convenient.
I know.
The app is a smaller portion, but it's way more convenient.
They going inside and being around other people. Ugh, gross.
Yeah, not
No,
having
thank
someone
you.
deliver it to my front door.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Shish
I
posh.
mean, I'm spending a lot of time in the office now, so I'll just have them deliver it here. And
Yeah.
it's so funny because the office
so
is in like
confused.
it's in like this business park that like no one wants to drive up because I'll order it like right before it closes. So it's like 9 p.m. right?
Yeah, they're
and
like-
these people are driving up every time. They're like, where am I? Like, am I about to get murdered right now? And it's just me
Dude.
standing there like, no, I'm just hungry and lazy.
He just comes out. He's got like a red balloon.
We're trading. I'm gonna trade with you.
Okay, so I remember the first time I ever saw CrossFit, like ever before, like it was probably 2012 around that time. And I worked at this baby resale clothing store. It was a bad season of my life. But like it was like I worked at a company for 6 years. They just closed down. I needed a job right away. I worked at this baby resale shop, and it was in this like kind of like a business park that we're in now. And these people were doing laps around the building, and they'd have like tires, and they would have all this stuff. And so I remember, like, I wasn't into working out yet. It was still a couple years.
They weren't big tires. They're just regular size tires. They're just running around.
It was just a couple years before I really started working out. And so, but I like these guys look freaking ripped. Their shirts are off. They're running around. I'm like, well, I want to do that. And so I like asked this guy. He's on like his 400-meter run. I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, CrossFit. I'm like, how much is it? He's like, it's like $150 a month. I'm like, oh, never doing that. It was like the immediate, like, nah, I'll probably never do CrossFit.
I love that's the first question. How much?
Dude, I told you I was in a weird spot in my life. But yeah, I mean, how did you? I don't remember if you said it. How did you hear about? So you're doing bodybuilding, but when did like CrossFit itself like kind of introduce itself to you?
Bro, he said, dude.
How did he say it? I don't remember.
It was a flyer, man.
Oh, a flyer. Okay.
Yeah, it was a flyer.
I couldn't
Come
remember.
on,
You
man.
did say it.
I
All
It
right.
was a
I was
flyer at
listening,
Soup
John.
Plantation.
John,
Yeah.
John was thinking about.
I was thinking about my
pizza or something.
I was thinking about the guy running around with a tire.
He thinks about him often. Is actually what happened,
exactly.
yeah.
One day I will be him.
So okay, I think before we get into the reviewing and stuff, because obviously that's a huge part of what you do now. I'm kind of interested in like you opening your own gym. Like when did that kind of become a thought, and then how did that kind of make its way into reality?
Okay, so I was like hopping around coaching at like a few different gyms, and I mean the thought of opening your own gym is pretty cool. Plus, I was already like buying up all this gym equipment. I had tons of it. Like initially I just wanted to do it out of my garage, just
Okay.
Just do something on a small scale, and then I was like, man, I should probably just open up a gym. So I started looking around, couldn't find a spot, man. It's tough to even have somebody that wants that, like house like a gym in an industrial spot. Like people don't want that.
Yeah.
And then one of the gyms I was at, something had happened with the owner, which is CrossFit 805, the one that I own right now.
Mm-hmm.
Something had happened with the owner, and he had to get rid of it. So he came to me and he was like, hey man, I heard you're looking for a gym. You could just take mine. And I was like,
what?
yeah, like,
Dude, that's sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I mean, so he let me, basically he gave me, who like the people that he had that would stay, because there had to be a transition period.
Of course.
So some people left, some people stayed. It was like about like a month transition. I put in, all of my new stuff, didn't take any of the old stuff, just took the members, took the name. Shouldn't have taken the name. Kind of regret that now, because I like never really felt like it was mine.
Yeah, I understand
old
that.
name. And carried a lot of bad stigma in the community and like in my city. So that was that mistake. But otherwise, it's been pretty cool.
You've had it for a few years, right?
It's been 5 years now.
5
going
years,
on six.
yeah,
Going
I
on
was
6.
I mean, you can just do the Subway thing where they put up a big banner that says under new ownership.
Yeah,
It's
there
like,
you go.
oh, I'm sure it's better now.
Dude,
I'm just
I
kidding.
wish.
Yeah.
We're like tucked away in the back of like an industrial park, like, so that's always been a problem. But you know, that's like all.
It's just
CrossFit gyms,
yeah.
right?
I was gonna say it's just hard because you want to be able to play music, you want to
Yep.
be able to drop barbells, you want to be able to be kind of loud, and the only place you can really do that, especially like at least in I know you live in California as well, is like gonna be in that area. Unless you're in like super rural part of California, it's kind of like the only option you really have. Like I know that there was a CrossFit gym here in El Cajon, which is where Darkside is. That was like literally on Main Street. But man, it was like on. I don't know how they made it work because like the run, you're like there. I don't know how they made it work.
Yeah, it's like the busiest part of like downtown El Cajon. They're just like right there on the strip.
Yeah.
Which is great for location, but like
Free
ease
advertising.
of use.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
ease of use and like quality of life kind of thing.
Yeah.
If you're a member, like to go on a run, you're like running through crowds of people. I
Yeah.
feel like that would be
Yeah.
annoying. The
And then,
owner
like,
actually,
smog.
the gym. Yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Bars and
that,
stuff.
that too.
It's
Yeah,
terrible.
like cigarette smoke and stuff. But
Yeah.
the owner of that gym closed down. And he actually came here. So yeah, it's definitely different. Like the one thing that's always funny to me is because like I'll post my workouts every once in a while. And I have like a large following that does not do CrossFit, doesn't understand it, you know, which is fine, whatever. But like every time I post a workout, if I'm doing like snatches or clean and jerk, like, why do you drop the bar like that? Like, it's so rude. I'm like, the owner is literally cheering me on, like
Yeah.
of this gym. Like they don't care. It's like these bumper plates are meant to be dropped. Like it's
Yeah.
totally okay, but people just don't get it. And they're like, I would never drop it. It was like, yeah, if I'm at 24-hour fitness, I want to be doing clean and jerks with like the hex metal plates and then dropping
Yeah.
it. It's just, I don't know. It's
Dude,
just fun.
that is like, I get that on my videos all the time. Oh, I was watching this video and it was a good review, and then I saw him drop the barbell and I turned it off. I was like,
Yeah, dude.
it's funny because in CrossFit, yeah, it's like encouraged. Like there was a guy today.
Well, it's technically more safe too if you're
Yeah,
doing
it is
like
safe.
heavy.
Then
you know
that's what
I mean?
that's what it
Like-
was. Is this guy was doing? We did 15 minutes to establish a 1 rep max split jerk. So I'm coaching him, and he did a weight, and then he like re-racked it, and he like kind of his back kind of buckled a little bit when he caught it in the front rack, and he's like, okay, I think I'm done for the day. I'm like, well, do you want to go heavier? He's like, yeah, I do, but I'm like, then just don't re-rack it.
Yeah.
I was like, just drop it when you split jerk it. And so he's like, oh yeah, good point. So he goes and he split jerks
It's
it,
way easier too.
hits his PR, and he's like super stoked, and then he just drops it. I'm like, there you go. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
I mean,
And like
people in the Olympics aren't like re-racking the bar.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
Imagine Matty Rogers that does it and then like, okay,
re-racks it,
I mean,
sets it down gently,
all right, thank you
kind
so
of
much.
waves and walks off.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just funny. Like like whenever someone comments, I'm like, okay, you just don't do CrossFit, and I usually just leave it alone, or else
Yeah.
I'll comment like the owner of the gym filmed this video for me. Like sometimes
Yeah.
that'll be what it is. Like it's fine.
Except just don't drop the empty barbell.
Oh, yeah.
That was a lesson that we both learned.
Oh, I learned that. So there was.
I was yelled at by my previous CrossFit gym.
Oh, you
owner.
were?
He
I
got
didn't-
mad, and then
Yeah.
I was there when you got yelled at.
So we were doing clean and jerk, like just like practice.
this was
and-
like 3.5, 4 years ago. Like this
Yeah,
was like
when I first started,
early
like
into
early
CrossFit
CrossFit
for us.
and we were doing clean and jerks, and I have really terrible front rack mobility. Like I do. It's just bad, right? And so we're doing the clean and jerks, and like I'm seeing everyone like the empty bar, like catching it with their elbows up and stuff, and I'm like sitting here with it like in front of my face, and I'm just like, it was an ego thing. Like I was embarrassed, right? Like I was embarrassed that like all these people could do this thing that I couldn't do, and so I just got like mad, and like I had it here, and I just dropped the bar like from the rack.
Which
The owner, which is bad, like 100% fully had the right to like, he didn't like yell at me, but he was like, yo, don't drop the empty bar. And
he's
I
like, never do that again
yeah,
or something.
and
Yeah.
I felt, and I'm a big crybaby, so I like tears in my eyes, and I felt all bad and stuff. But I was just like, all right, well, lesson learned, and I've never done it again.
But then you look at those people like weightlifters, like warming up behind stage and stuff, and they'll
Sometimes-
just like jerk, and then they just drop the empty bar. I'm just like, oh gosh, everything in me cringes.
I made a video. I don't know if you've seen it, but I made a video on dropping an empty barbell. How long
Okay.
would it take to break an empty barbell?
How
So
long
we
does
like
it take?
threw it around, and dude, this thing would not break. I swear.
What bar was it?
It was a Rogue bar. It was just a
Okay.
normal Rogue bar, and we dropped it from like different angles. We tried throwing it. It took until we dropped it off a 3-story building for it to break.
Wow.
Jeez.
And dude, it still was like usable. It's crazy.
I've always been under the impression that you don't do it because it like will bend it.
Yeah,
Is that
exactly.
wrong? Okay,
Yeah,
so-
that's
okay.
basically it. Yeah, it would
Okay.
bend. So it just ended up bending a little bit, but
That's crazy. Yeah. So that's wild.
I still
Yeah.
tell people like don't drop
yeah.
an empty bar. Like that's
Yeah.
still not good. Don't do it. Just because the sound is like
Ugh.
Yeah,
It like hurts your soul now.
Yeah.
Now that I
I
know, I'm like,
like
ugh.
down into my soul. And then I just wonder, like right now, because of like COVID and everything, we bleach everything after every use, bleaching everything down. I just wonder, like the
That can be
barbell,
good, yeah.
like
That's
because
bad
all
for
the
the bar.
oils and all that. Like I just like it stresses me out every time. But it's
Dude,
like I also
that
don't want to.
is-
Yeah, we're bleaching
That-
it every time. But
That
now
is not good.
we hired
Yeah.
a guy who does not weekly, but he does maintenance on all of our stuff now,
If
like
there's-
all the time.
If
He's
like a bar
always
isn't
doing maintenance.
moving or something like that.
I think we had to do that because of the bleach, though.
Yeah.
Like
It's, I mean, it literally destroys things. It's pretty much
That's
what
what
bleach
it's-
is
yeah.
like. It destroys things. It cleans it, but it destroys it. You know.
Yeah.
So-
Okay. Yeah. You go.
Yeah. I'm afraid of asking questions that you've already answered.
So, how did you get into
I just wanna know,
CrossFit, Joel?
how did you hear about CrossFit? All right, so I'm sure this is a stupid question, but I just got to ask it anyway.
Oh, gosh.
When did and how did this like obsession with in a healthy, fun, good obsession? I mean, you don't start a YouTube channel called As Many Reviews as Possible if you're not obsessed with reviewing equipment.
It's just the way you ask questions, like, you just had to lightly roast him. You're just like this ridiculous obsession, you freaking loser. With
Why would you even do that in the first place?
No, but like, okay, I don't need to justify my questions here.
yeah, you're just a jerk. It's fine.
Yeah,
we understand.
But when did you like find this like joy in?
There you go.
There we go.
That's
That's a good way
better one.
in collecting and reviewing and like because I mean people there's a definite love on YouTube for review videos.
Absolutely.
Like it's just like this like it's whatever it is like it's satisfying.
I watch review videos of things that I'm like, I don't care about this.
There's some
I have
satisfaction.
No plan on buying this. So I'll
like,
watch a review on
when did like the acquiring of gear and then realizing like people really like this online? Like how did that whole thing come into fruition?
So I had like in the past I had done video game reviews. So I like my past. I was big into video games. Did video game reviews. That went away from that, and then more recently, after like before like the CrossFit stuff, I was doing like Yelp reviews. So I was like Yelp elite, and then
Oh wow.
I stopped doing that because Yelp is kind of
Shady.
yeah, it's not great. And then I started looking into like CrossFit. When you start CrossFit, like
Did we lose him?
I don't know. And then I'm assuming you were going to say something about like there's so much gear or something like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I got it. So yeah, like you get into CrossFit and then like you start like researching gear. Like you look for shoes, you're looking for belts, wraps, all that stuff. And so I started just buying stuff, just whatever, just like anybody else would. Like when you see like new shoes and whatnot, you're just like, okay, I'm just gonna buy that. A new shoe comes out and I'm just gonna buy that.
Were you
And I was like the only
like,
one at the gym. What's that?
were you like day one like all right, I did CrossFit, now I buy all CrossFit stuff? Or was it like a slow
Yes.
okay, yeah.
No.
Same.
No, man. No, I sent it, dude. So like the very first day that I had done CrossFit, like that night I went home and I bought shoes.
Oh, see, I was
So,
worse than you.
it
I
was
bought
like-
Metcons before I did my first workout.
Yeah, we were like,
there you
we were
go.
like, oh, we're gonna do CrossFit now? Cool. We need Metcons.
So were you kind of always like a like I know you said you like played video games and stuff. Were you always kind of like a collector? Because I'm assuming you like a lot of the stuff you still have, right? So you kind of collect as well as review. Was that always kind of
Yeah.
something you were into?
Yeah, man. Like my video game collection is pretty much like video games were. Oh, you know what? I want to take that back. Video games are probably the biggest one, but like I'm like the pro hobbyist. So like I went through like a a gun phase, a knife phase, like, and they're not like normal pocket knives. They're like chef knives. I
Yeah.
got really into them. Like, I don't know why I got so into them. So I just like, I don't know. I just buy a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And people at the gym would always ask me like, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? What do you know, they would just see me with new stuff all the time. So they had asked me, and I like kind of got tired of people asking me.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, I'm just going to write this stuff down. And I came up with the blog, as many reviews as possible. Didn't have a name for it.
Such a good name.
Well, see, that's the thing is I didn't think it was a good name at the time. I was like, this is just going to be a placeholder.
Mm-hmm.
And then people at the gym were like, oh, man, that's a great name. And that just stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the first time it was like, wasn't immediate where I was like, oh, as many reviews as possible. AMRAP.
Uh-huh.
That makes sense.
Uh-huh.
Like, it was this moment of like, oh, duh. Like,
Yeah.
that's cool, dude.
Dude, I get that. I get it all the time, man. All the time. People are like, oh, it didn't dawn on me until now.
Because as many reviews as possible by itself is like a solid. That's
It
like
could be of anything.
yeah, like that's like
Yeah.
a solid name. But then when you think, oh, AMRAP, CrossFit, like the connection, like when it comes, yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I first found your channel, I didn't even realize it was like a CrossFit centric kind of thing. I was just kind of thinking like, oh, it's like as he just reviews a bunch of things, and then I realized through watching, I was like, okay, this is all like CrossFit kind of related things, and yeah, it's just funny because like when I think about it, like I told you when I first did it, I was like, I'm gonna kind of steal some of what you do, and I was like, I like the way that you do the reviews, so I like made some reviews as well on my second channel of like reviewing CrossFit shoes and stuff like that, and so I was just like, I like how Joel does them, so I'm gonna kind of copy him a little bit.
Have you
Dude, you just totally broke up on me. I didn't like hear a thing you said.
I was just telling people that I just stole your ideas and stuff, and it's fine. I was just saying, like when I first like found the reviews, I was like, because at the same time I was into CrossFit for a while, and I had the second channel, and I would get the same thing. People always asking like, "What do you think of this? What do you think of that?" And I was like, okay, I'll kind of like make like reviews. I'm just not. The problem I have with reviewing things is I get excited about stuff, and so if it's new, I'm like, it's great. And then it's a few months later, I'm like, yeah, I don't use that anymore. Like, there's been a couple shoes that I'm like, ooh, like all of the iterations of the Nike Free Metcon, the 2 and the 3, both of them like, I don't like those shoes no more. But the first ones I still love. Like the first ones are still my favorite, like some of my favorite CrossFit shoes ever. But yeah, I'm not the best at reviewing things.
How did you?
Man, you don't. That's the thing is like with reviewing things, it's like you don't have to be like you don't have to know everything about the shoe. All you have to do is like say what you like about it because they're so like subjective.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's hard. Like I would try and do my best to like do the research. Like, what's the drop of this shoe and the midfoot, and like it has like this, and what about this thing? But then I was like, man, all I'm doing is parroting what it says on the website. I don't know what I'm talking about, so I was like, I'm just gonna say what I think about it. I would just like when it came to shoes, because that's pretty much the only like CrossFit thing I reviewed. I would just be like, yo, I'm a dude with a wide foot and I got thick ankles. This is what I think about these shoes. For you guys that feel the same way as I do. Because like I know that I can't review a shoe based on like if someone has a narrow foot. I'm like, I don't freaking know if you're gonna like the shoe or not. But I know for me, like it's hard to get my fat old foot in this shoe, so it's not for me. So that's like what I was able to like all the Flyknit Metcons, like none of those have ever worked for me because they're like so like they're just squeeze the crap out of my foot. Yeah.
Did you how did you like so you were doing the blog, you're doing as many reviews as possible, like when did like YouTube become like oh dude, like I can do this, like was there like a review that like went viral? Was there something that went crazy, or had it been just kind of like a slow steady rise throughout it?
I honestly like I wanted to stay off of YouTube. Like it was never a thing that I even thought of. Like I was okay with writing stuff. Like I really like to write. And then I got the athlete pack for the Metcon 1, the very first Metcon before anybody got it. And I was like, dude, this is like my lucky break, right? Because like it was such a hype thing at the time. Like,
yeah,
I don't remember another CrossFit shoe that ever had the hype of the Metcon 1. And so Nike had like contacted me, and they sent me the athlete pack, which came with like the Metcon 1s, like shorts, some tights, and then like a shirt. And I was like, dude, the biggest audience that I could reach with this is YouTube. You know, that's the easiest way to reach like a huge audience. So I made the worst video ever, man. It was so bad. I'm like sitting in my garage and I'm like trying to like compare like the Nano 4 with the Metcon 1. And I hadn't even worked out in the Metcon 1. I had just got it. And dude, I got roasted in the comments.
Did you? Oh.
Yeah, I got roasted. But I mean, people still watched it. It was just it just wasn't very good. So that's how I started. I just felt the obligation to need to post something about the Metcon 1 because it was so new. No one had any information about it. You know, there was no reviews or anything. So that's how I started. That's how YouTube started.
That's crazy, man. Yeah, I can only assume because I started CrossFit, I think it was the Metcon 2 were out. Those are the Metcons I bought. But I can only imagine how much hype was going on with like Nike jumping into CrossFit. I remember like Reebok had this whole thing where they were like saying like we did it before it was cool or whatever. Like they were part of CrossFit before everyone kind of hopped in. Yeah, that must have been insane back then. Like Nike getting into CrossFit.
Dude, that was hype, man. It was crazy. And like they didn't even have to be good. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Is that I didn't think like if you look back and you're like Metcon 1 or it was Nano 4 at the time. The Nano 4 was I was a better shoe. It was a better CrossFit shoe. But Nike's hype, dude.
Yeah.
Like I would wear the Nike just because it was so hyped up. Like
Absolutely.
And, you know?
Well, I've always felt like the Metcons looked better. Like even this year, like the Nano 10s, I like how they look, like compared to the 9s and stuff before. But still, man, I ordered the Metcons, so like the super crazy looking ones. You know what I mean? Like I love how those ones look, and I actually like them. Like I like working out in them. And honestly, like I haven't been a huge Metcon fan. I've had all them all 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this one is like for me is by far the best one. Like I really like it a lot. But again, like I said, it's new, so I don't know how trustworthy that is. But. So that's the thing, man. With Nike, they were the first CrossFit shoes I got. I got the red and like the university red and black and white Metcon 2s, and like those were the first ones I got because I was like, these look cool. And it was because Matt Frazier was sponsored, and I was like, man, Matt Frazier's cool. Like I want to be like him, and that's why I bought them. I literally bought them on my way to my first CrossFit class. So like I already had a pair of Metcons. It was so embarrassing, man.
Dude, you were already in the cult before you even got to your first class.
I really was.
Seriously.
I 100% was. Because Jean showed me the... Jean showed me the documentaries that were on Netflix. And so I watched those and I was like, yep, I want to be like those people. Little did I know.
Yeah, man.
Not going to happen.
It's okay, man. The dream is still there, man.
Yeah.
The dream is still alive.
Dude.
I get to hang out with some of the athletes, you know, so that's all. That's cool.
Dude, that's you get their aura of like fitness
without having to train for 4 hours a day, so it's cool.
Yeah, man. What those guys do is unreal, dude. Like if you were to like realistically ask me like would I want to be that fit but I'd have to train that much, I'd probably say no.
Yeah.
That's just too much, man.
Well, it's funny because people don't realize how much like goes into it. So they like I have so many people that will comment like, "Hey, have you ever thought about competing at the CrossFit Games?" And I'm like, That's like going up to a middle school football player and be like, "Hey, have you ever thought about playing in the NFL?"
Yeah.
Or like going to like a pickup game at a you know, it's like dudes that are like 25 years old that are just playing in the park and be like, "Have you ever thought about playing in the NFL before?" And it's like, you know, it's a little harder than it looks, right?
Yeah, man.
man.
People, I don't know. CrossFit has this weird, like, if you don't do CrossFit, like, you don't really know what, I don't know. People that haven't done CrossFit just don't really know what goes into it.
Yeah, because the pros make it look easy.
And that's the thing is like you look at strongman, right? Which absolutely respect. I love watching it. It looks hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the weights they're doing, the movements they're doing, picking up stones off the ground, and it's like you look at that and you go, "Dang, that dude's strong. That looks really hard." And then you look at Matt Frazier do Friendly Fran. You know what I mean? And it's like he does world record pace, unbroken, walks between movements, kind of looks like he's out of breath, but he's going for it. And then you look at that and you go, "Oh, that I could probably do that." Like that doesn't look as bad because they've made it efficient.
Yeah.
And when you see someone who's efficient at their movement, it doesn't look hard until you try to do it and you try to maintain it. Well, and then you realize Matt Frazier's Friendly Fran is faster than your Fran. And you're like,
by a minute.
Yeah.
But the thing that, and I think a part of it too is that it's like it's the mixture of the endurance and the strength. So it's not like just at 1 rep max that you're like, okay, I can't lift that. And then on top of it is like what you were saying, Joel, is like if you haven't tried it, you don't understand how hard it is. So it just looks like it's easy. It doesn't like everyone has tried to run, right? So when you see someone run a marathon, you're like, wow, that's incredible. No matter if you're a runner or not, like you ran in the past, you had to do the mile for high school. You know how hard that was. So you see someone run a marathon, you know that's hard. But if you've never done CrossFit, you've never done clean and jerks in a workout and then handstand walks or something like that, you're like, you know, I can't do handstand walks, but maybe if I learned how to do them, maybe I could do that. You just think that, and it's like, no, man. No way. Okay, so the next thing that I wanted to talk about, and I think this is this could be really interesting, is, you know, with everything that got shut down, COVID happened, I know that there was like a huge influx of people wanting gear, you know, like people wanting workout gear, anything related to fitness. So like, what was that like for you as like a reviewer that like had to, because I know that you were posting a ton of like, hey, this stuff's open, you can get this, you can get this, you can get this. Like, how was that for you? Like the whole shutdown and just kind of how that affected your, you know, your job, I guess you could call it.
So like really early on, like I had already kind of figured out that, you know, things were going to sell out and stuff was going to go awry in the fitness world, in the equipment world. So I put out like a doomsday buyer's guide on like what I think you should have and where to get it. So that I put that out, and then things off that list just started disappearing. And then I was like, oh man, this is getting real. And then, you know, soon enough, Rogue is completely sold out of everything.
yeah.
And I had done like I had done like in stock stuff like in the past, just on stuff that was kind of rare and whatnot. So I would get like, anytime something would pop up, you know, someone would message me on Instagram and be like, hey, this is up, and I'd just let people know, and I'd be like, all right, cool. So I would just go and put it up, and then soon enough, like that caught on, and you know, like I would get like 1 million freaking DMs a day on this is in stock, this is in stock, this is in stock. So I just kind of used it as used my platform to kind of inform people that stuff's in stock. But it's kind of slowing down at this point, but I think it's gonna shift, like from the simple stuff like barbells and bumper plates. Everybody kind of has that stuff already. And it's now shifting into like bigger stuff, like, or more like extravagant stuff, because people are now, they're like pot committed into their home gyms.
Yeah.
Right. So, and it just keeps on growing now. Like, I have this for my gym. Now I need this, and now I need this. Benches are a big thing right now. People need adjustable benches. That's the most popular thing right now.
Yeah, like I definitely am a lot more interested in getting a home garage gym now. Like we're moving in about a month. We're gonna have a garage. Like let's pump it up. You know, it's kind of my plan and my idea for it. But another like a legitimate concern I think that I have is like if full shutdown becomes the standard operating procedure. You know what I mean? Like every 3 years or something, there's a virus or whatever. Is a shutdown or is a whatever going to be like, oh, California shut down for 3 weeks to slow the spread or whatever? Like, if that becomes like a new standard operating procedure, let's stop the spread, let's do this. Like, I want to have some equipment so that I'm like, we were shut down like completely for like 4 months. Our gym.
He's in California as well.
Yeah, so yeah. So it's like we were just like to be at the complete mercy of that, and our gym at least like rented out equipment.
Yeah.
That was like a huge wake up call for me to like at least I want to have enough so that if worse comes to worse,
you're not dependent on an outside source. Yeah.
Like I want like a power rack so I can bench, squat, deadlift, some kettlebells and some dumbbells. Like at the very least have that. You know, because I don't want to be at the mercy of that again. And I think a lot of people are kind of going that direction of like, let me have the basics so that I can at least be in control of my own fitness versus some,
governor.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't want the governor to be over my level of fitness. Do you see do you see that as well? Is that kind of the direction like garage gyms are becoming more popular and?
Yeah, man, that is exactly what's happening. Everybody's just kind of like buying stuff, even if they don't really need it and they still have a gym to go to. Like at this point, they're still buying stuff up because you don't really know what's going to happen. You know, like I mean, we can regress and shut down completely again. So
yeah,
I think people are just, for like a rainy day, people are just buying stuff up just to have. And it's, you know, like when I got into it, like I had my garage gym stuff too, and then I still went to the gym. Yeah, you know, I just wanted the stuff to like, just in case I at 9 o'clock at night want to like do some power cleans.
You're a collector, man. Let's be real. Come on. Okay, so I kind of want to ask. I know that me and you met in Baltimore earlier. It's this year, man. It feels like it was so long ago because it was before everything happened. But like we were able to go to the Under Armour Human Performance Summit. Like that was a crazy experience, right? Yeah, and like seriously, when I was doing, I remember like they gave me the suitcase I still use to this day and the backpack. Like it's freaking awesome, right? And ton of stuff. Like
I'm wearing the pants that you gave me.
Yeah, he's wearing pants that I gave him from the summit. But it was like such a cool experience. Like it was because of those I didn't do many reviews, but there was one Tri-Base Rain from when the first one came out, and I was like, this is actually a really good CrossFit shoe. Like I thought I was like Under Armour. Like I don't know. This was like before Under Armour. They were like second tier in my eyes. It was like there was like Adidas and Nike were kind of top tier, and then if you're thinking about CrossFit, Reebok was up there, but pretty much anything else, Reebok was like second tier, and then Under Armour was like
maybe if you're into UFC, like
UFC, yeah. But UFC actually, people that are into UFC do not like Reebok because they're like the only sponsor now. They like bought it. From what I've read, but then there was like Reebok and then like Under Armour were like second tier. So I was just like, ooh, I don't know about this, and then I tried it out, and we had already started talking, and we were both like, this is really good. Like they're not bad. They're not perfect, but they're not bad. And so I made a review about it, and then that's how I kind of got hooked up with Under Armour. And then one of the guys was like, yeah, we have this thing, and I remember I was like, oh, I mean, it sounds kind of cool. I guess I'll go. And then I was there, and I was like, holy crap, they undersold the crap out of this thing. It was so awesome. So I kind of like, if that's not the coolest thing that a company has ever done for you, like, is there any other thing that kind of pops up in your mind, like, yo, this company did something that was super dope that like I couldn't believe?
I mean, the scale of that one was like, when I got there, I was like, what am I doing here, dude? Because there's like, it's like world-class athletes, like Olympians there. The team workout, I was like paired up with an Olympic gymnast, and I was like, man, this guy's running too fast. Like, why can this guy do so many pull-ups, like push-ups? I'm like trying to like keep up with him. Like, dude, this is crazy. But like the scale of it was ridiculous. Like we stayed at the Four Seasons. Yeah. Right there on the water. It was we got like catered food.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. I mean, Reebok before had sent me out to Barcelona which was pretty cool. Like they sent me to Barcelona to like to help kind of give some feedback on like some like bags and stuff. So that was cool because I'd never been to Barcelona. Like, granted, it was more like work stuff, but like, it was a cool experience. Yeah, that was it. Those are like the two kind of like big things that anyone's ever done. But like Under Armour was crazy because they brought you out there, they put you in the hotel, like a really nice hotel. They had all these like workshops and whatnot, right? You know, I still feel like I wasn't supposed to be there, but you know, it was
Trust
like
me,
super cool.
I think all of us, because there's like 4 CrossFitters, so it was me, Joel, and then John and Nikki from
Make Wads Great Again.
Make Pods Great Again,
Pods.
Make Wads Great Again, whatever you want to call it. And all 4 of us were like, what are we doing here? Because it was like everyone else was like, yeah, like Olympic athletes or like just like big names or like they were like really good at their sport or whatever it was. And then there was us 4 like we just
like,
we're just
do?
mediocre at CrossFit.
We make videos. Yeah.
It was cool.
But it was
man.
also cool too, though. Like because we do CrossFit, we just kind of like, all right, well, let's just hang out together.
Yeah. We were like, okay, this is the crew then, I guess.
Yeah, we're friends now.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's how it worked. It was dope.
Yeah,
But yeah, man. It was thanks so much for being on, dude. Like this was a lot of fun. Again, thank you so much, especially on the short notice. That's our bad, but you know.
All good, man.
But we appreciate it. Where if people want to find you, where could they find you?
You can find the website www.asmanyreviewsapospossible.com, Instagram as many reviews as possible, and then YouTube as many reviews as possible. All the same.
Nice.
Sweet, dude. Thanks again, man.
Yeah, man, for sure, dude.